Hello, welcome back to my channel. In one of my previous videos, I talked about classical music, which turned out to be quite popular. Many viewers found it useful and enjoyable. If you missed that video, I'll leave a link down below. Please check it out. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu, and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history, and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. Recently, a friend of mine asked me to make a video talking about the very famous Chinese violin concerto, The Butterfly Lovers. I said to him, "Okay, I will." As a matter of fact, I have had that idea for a long time. This Chinese violin concerto is one of the violin pieces that I listen to most often. When I was much younger and when I wasn't practicing the violin every day, I could play most of the violin melodies from that concerto. Even today, I can still play some. So, in this video, I'm going to briefly tell you the plot of the story and share with you my understanding of this concerto. Hopefully, you will have a better idea about this concerto after watching this video. The Butterfly Lovers is one of the most famous Chinese works in Western music style. What makes this concerto unique is that many melodies originate from the Chinese Yueju opera, which is popular in southeastern parts of China. This violin piece is written in the Chinese traditional five-note scale, which is also known as the pentatonic scale, which, of course, is different from the heptatonic scale, which has 7 notes. In addition, the violin frequently employs some Chinese techniques which are typically used on Chinese string instruments, which of course gives a distinctive Chinese sound to this piece of music. For example, the technique of glissando is frequently used throughout this concerto. As a result, when you listen to this concerto, you will immediately know that this is not a Western piece of violin music. In terms of plot, it is an adaptation of a very famous Chinese legendary love story called Liang Shanbo and Zhu Yingtai. Liang is the boy and Zhu is the girl. If you want to know why it is named Butterfly Lovers, you will get the answer at the end of this video. So please stick around until the end. To better understand the plot and the melodies, I will divide this concerto into several sections, each telling a different part of the love story, even though most musicians only divide it into 3 sections. For the sake of time, I will only briefly narrate the plot and briefly explain the melodies of each section. The concerto starts with a very lively and joyful melody by the solo violin. This melody is the theme of love, which will be repeated a few times throughout the concerto. The first section tells the story of both Liang and Zhu studying at the same school and becoming good friends. Now, please keep in mind that back in the old days, girls were not supposed to go to the same school as boys. So, Zhu disguises herself as a boy. As classmates, they play together and become good friends. In this section, you will also hear the solo violin accompanied by a cello. The violin represents Zhu and the cello part represents Liang. The two instruments intertwine, symbolizing their happy interaction as good friends. While they play together, Zhu has always wanted to tell Liang that she is a girl and she likes him. But she is too shy to say it in a straightforward way. So she would take every opportunity to give him a hint. For example, when they take a walk and come to a lake, they see their reflections in the water. And she says, "Look, I see one boy and one girl." But Liang says, "What do you mean? These are two boys." When they see two geese, she says, "I see a boy goose and a girl goose." But Liang says, "How do you know?" It has never occurred to Liang that Zhu is actually a girl. The second section tells the story of their busy school years. The violin plays a fast and a jovial melody. This section is a display of fancy violin techniques, which is typical of a violin concerto. The third section is a sad part of the story because Zhu and Liang have to say goodbye at the end of school years. The solo violin is joined by the cello. The violin and the cello intertwine in a very sad and emotional but very beautiful melody, expressing their deep affection for each other. The fourth section of the concerto is very dark and powerful. When Zhu comes home, she learns that her father has arranged for her to marry another man from a rich family. The solo violin plays strongly against the powerful orchestra, which represents her fierce protest against the father. In the fifth section, Liang pays a visit to Zhu's home as he has promised. When he sees Zhu, he finally realizes that Zhu is actually a girl and immediately falls in love with her. The solo violin and the solo cello play an emotional duet, which is one of the most famous and most powerful sections of the concerto. The duet, which is like a dialogue, expresses their deep love for each other. The sixth section talks about Liang's angry reaction when he learns that Zhu's father has prearranged her marriage to another man. The solo violin starts with an angry sound, but eventually returns to the original opening melody, representing their love. Unfortunately, Liang falls ill and dies. Zhu is disheartened and goes to his grave and keeps crying. At this point, a miracle happens. The grave suddenly opens and she throws herself into the grave. The whole orchestra produces a very powerful sound at this moment, reaching the climax of the concerto. The final section describes their reunion in a different word. Zhu and Liang are reborn as butterflies and emerge from the grave, and together they are dancing in the sky. Now, again, we hear the same melody that we heard at the beginning, but this time the solo violin is muted. The dampened love theme suggests their love and happiness in another word. Well, that is all that I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.